Network presents sports for the culture.
I'm here with the family.
Bryce, XXV, Double I,
Rome,
D-Melo,
Bro Flying.
T-Boogie, man.
To the greatest sports show on the planet. La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say. Don't it make you bounce though? Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Gas Presents Sports for the Culture, the 51st episode of your new, I guess it's not new at this point, it's just your favorite sports show. Tonight, I'm your host at Bryce XXV Double I. As always, I'm joined by the Dream Team, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang. Top right, let's get it.
Hey, you already know what time I'm on. It's a great day. The sports world will get that reference. We're about to celebrate a year going, fellas. We've been going strong. Lots of big things happening. Young Rome 22, as always. You see it on the screen. Let's get into this show, man.
Hey man, the only day I recognize today is Doggy Day, man. Shout out to all my Dogecoin holders, man. Hope y'all holding, y'all not selling, getting scared. Bottom left, what up?
It's your boy D-Melo. And besides being a Yankees fan, which sucks right now, man, congratulations to all my people celebrating 420. Get right, remember, smoke responsibly.
Yeah, do everything responsibly, man. I agree with that. Bottom right, let's get it.
Hey, T-Boogie, man. You know, it's a holiday. Not my holiday, but shout out to everybody that's celebrating the day. You know, what can I say, man? It's a good day. 420. Wash your hands, wash your ass, stay clean. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got a whole docket of sports topics, culture topics tonight. But before we move forward, I mean, we are sports for the culture, so we must be for the culture. First thing we're discussing, fellas, I want your instant raw reactions on the Derek Chauvin murder verdict, man. He was found guilty of murder. We don't have to question it any longer. It is official. The verdict came through. The jury did the right thing. I want your instant raw reactions. Young Rome, start with you, Brody.
My instant reaction is we got justice. Me personally, I tried to stay away from the trial and stuff. It gave me a lot of anxiety because in the past we haven't gotten these type of outcomes, and we all know what happens typically if we don't get the outcome that everyone knows we should be getting. But in this case, we got it. So my instant reaction, I would guess, say is joy. I'm happy. I'm joyful.
I feel it, man. I feel it. I think that's a raw reaction. That's what we're looking for right now, man. We didn't think about this. The verdict dropped before we even made the production sheet, before we had our production meeting. We really had no clue we were going to talk about this. So everything you're getting right now is raw. It's from the heart. It's our very instant reaction. T Boogie, how you feeling, man?
Yeah, man. Initially when I heard sense of just relief and surprise. I just didn't think they was going to convict this guy on 3 charges just based on what we've seen in the past. And it still almost feels surreal. It feels like maybe, I'm not trying to be Mr. Negative, but it feels like maybe they'll get him an appeal or a lower sentence or, something. But as it stands, let's not take away from the moment. It's a good moment. Hopefully it's a turning point. Hopefully this is the point we look back and say, this is where we started to hold police accountable in this country. I don't know, but we can hope, right? But right now, yeah, just a sense of relief, man, that family gets some semblance of justice.
Yeah, facts. Even if it's only a semblance for now, it's definitely something that we can call justice in this moment. It's crazy that this is what we got. This is the only justice we can get. You know what I mean? It has to be this obvious for the justice to be rendered. But like I said, these are instant reactions. This is what we got for y'all to start off. DeMello, give me your instant reaction, bro.
Man, hopefully it's one of many more that we get from here on out, man. To say the least, that every officer from here on out is held accountable, not just on how they approach us civilians, but how they do their job from here on out. Like, they see, yo, this is not a game. Like, people are fed up.
Yeah, facts, man. Facts. And just to kind of piggyback off whatever all of you all said, I think we're beyond fed up. I think we've been fed up for a long time. And now I think most people are past that. I think that's why we get, the protests that turn into the riots, that turn into sometimes even worse, because that's just as justified as the verdict, in my opinion. I don't think we can sit back and wait for these things to continue to happen to us. You know, I mean, I understand the celebration from people. I understand how people are elated for the verdict to come out, but people shouldn't have to be elated over this. This was the most obvious thing. This was clear as day that this man should have been convicted of murder. And the fact that we have to celebrate this just goes to show how far we still have got to go. I mean, people are celebrating the verdict. Meanwhile, 10 minutes after the verdict is read, you've got Micaiah Bryant killed in Columbus, Ohio, 4 bullets to her chest, a 15-year-old girl. This stuff just doesn't stop. They don't quit. And, you know, the time is now. The time is now to stand up. The time is now to not stand for this any longer. And whatever we have to do by any means, that's how we have to go. All right. So let's. Anybody else got anything to say before we move on from this topic, guys?
No, not yet. I'm waiting for the sentencing. Really, that'll let me know everything I need to know.
Thanks, G.
Nah, man. Our prayers and hearts still go out to Floyd's family, man. Chuck this one up to him, man.
Absolutely, Ron.
You know, just still keeping the family in my prayers and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure, you know, they got a little bit of peace today. But other than that, I'm ready to talk sports.
Facts. Let's get it, man. No question about it. George Floyd should still be alive right now. So let's keep it pushing, man. In the name of George Floyd, let's have a great show, fellas. So moving on to our first topic of the day, we starting with the NFL. We started with this, I wouldn't call it breaking news, but it is the most pressing NFL news at the moment. We had a little bit of news from the weekend pop off. First things first, Alex Smith, the 49ers quarterback. Shout out to my guy T Boogie. Also the Washington football team quarterback. Shout out to my guy Young Rome. This guy retired, man, after a gruesome injury, a very gruesome injury in Washington. He battled back. His leg was mangled. It was one of the most disgusting injuries I've ever seen. One of the most. If you ever saw the images of his leg, I mean, I thought there was no chance he'd ever play again. But the guy battled back. Not only did he battle back, but he took the Washington football team, led them to the playoffs, surprisingly. What did you guys think about hearing Alex Smith retire? Let's get the instant reactions on that. G, I see you rolling your eyes, man. Let's talk about it. G.
We're talking about the poor man's Phillip Rivers right now. And, like, yeah, it was the inevitable right now. Like, he had to retire. No team was going to give him any kind of guaranteed contract to play with that kind of foot besides the Washington football team. Because God knows you guys are just as bad as Dallas when it comes to letting anybody play on the field.
Yeah, all right, whatever, man. I mean, I guess we let anybody play on the field. But at the end of the day, though, Alex Smith had a nice little run with the Skins before. Well, my bad, with the WFT before he got injured. I believe they were 6-3, Rome, if I'm not mistaken, before he went down. And that season was just ruined. I think that was 2018. That whole season was ruined once he got injured, or 2019. Once he got injured, the season was a wrap. And you know, they never really regained that form until this past year when he came back. So, Rome, I want to get your reaction, man. What do you think about Alex Smith retirement announcement?
You were right. That was the 2018 season because he actually missed the entire 2019 season because that's how crazy that injury was. That's really why he won Comeback Player of the Year. In my mind, Alex Smith is a legend. I'm not going to say anything crazy like he's a Hall of Famer. I don't think his career hits anything like that, but I do think he falls into the category of legend based off the fact of what he came back from. He had a solid NFL career. He got derailed. By all accounts, it should have been over. I mean, and if we're being bluntly honest, Bryce, we saw him play. T, you saw him play this past season. He was a shell of himself. Like, that wasn't the Alex Smith we were accustomed to seeing. G's right about it. You know, it was time to hang it up. It really wasn't much other choice. But the fact that he even got back on a football field and helped Washington get to the playoffs, that's legendary in my mind. So, legend, but not a Hall of Famer.
All right, I feel that. I mean, he's a Hall of something. He's a Hall of decent, Hall of pretty good. I don't know, man, but definitely not a Hall of Famer. T, being a guy that, as a traditional Washington football team hater, but at the same time, 49ers fan, you've seen both sides of Alex Smith. What do you think about his retirement, bro?
I thought it made sense. He proved he could come back. He proved he can start. He proved he could win a game. He proved he could lead a team to the playoffs. But like you said, he wasn't himself. And I did get to see Alex come into the league. What's good, D-Money? My man. But yeah, Alex has a great story. Number one draft pick. I mean, he went ahead of Aaron Rodgers. He struggled that first season, was labeled a bust, was able to fight back, bounce back with Harbaugh, lost his job to Kaepernick, and he wasn't playing bad. He was managing games, but they wanted that extra young guy. Goes the Chiefs and loses his job to Mahomes. I mean, Alex has an incredible story. I mean, to take that injury to come back is incredible. It's a legendary story. He's not a legend, though. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's a NFL pro, and he had a great career, and he has nothing to hang his head about. I don't know if you should remember him over a guy like a Jim Kelly. You know what I mean? I think we're throwing around legend too loosely in this era. You know what I'm saying? Every time something happens, somebody's legendary. Alex Smith is not legendary. All right.
The injury he returned from isn't legendary. Who else has done it? Nobody.
I mean,
does that not make him a legend? With 20 years down the road, will we not show that documentary? Isn't it titled like The Legend of Alex Smith, or it will be?
No,
it should be.
He won't get a 30 for 30. He won't get an ESPN.
He's already got an ESPN special, his own ESPN special, which is already kind of legendary in its own right.
It's not. I haven't seen it. I don't know anyone else that's seen it. You seen it?
Oh, you've seen it. You've seen it.
What is the streaming on? I haven't seen it. If it's on Prime, is it on
only
Hulu?
Washington football teams fan watches that video.
Look, incredible story, incredible journey. I think it's one that people should remember, but they won't.
You just gave the legendary story. It sounds like a movie. I think they will remember it once Hollywood gets a hold of it and turns this into a movie. Mark my words, there'll probably be an Alex Smith movie down the road.
He didn't win a Super Bowl. I mean,
I hate to say this, bro, but if it is, it's probably gonna be our lifetime, man. I don't think
it might be straight to DVD. It might be straight to DVD, but
are you telling me
he's got a good
DVD player no more?
With him losing his job to Heineke?
It's gonna be one of them real life stories, bro. Everything can't be a happy ending. That's why it's gonna be such a good movie.
It's gonna be something that you read on Wikipedia and you're like, damn, I spent 15 minutes on this.
Yes,
all right.
Hey, D-Money
Look, Alex, by all accounts, man, Alex is a sharp guy. He's a great guy. I think he can go into politics if he wanted to. He's a smart guy. I think he's a 4.0 student in college. But what he did was amazing. But let's not say he was a legendary quarterback. I mean, he had a legendary comeback, but he's not a legendary quarterback by any means.
Bryce is right about you, man. You're a professional Washington football team hater.
He played more years with the 49ers.
If he makes this comeback
with the 49ers.
If he makes this comeback with the 49ers, you'd be saying he's a legend.
No, the 49ers should not retire his jersey. Nothing.
If he would have made this comeback with him, you'd be singing a different tune.
Bro, quick question. Bro, how many times y'all went to the playoffs with that man?
Once,
it should have been twice. It should have been twice. He didn't break his leg.
No, but once, right?
We were first in the division. Before he broke his leg, we were in first, and we.
Bro, it sounds like Kirk Cousins should be on the Hall of Ring for you guys, or anything. Y'all should.
All right. Well, you know what?
Like a god did.
You bring up an interesting point, G, and I'm only going to give this question to young Rome, man, because I don't even want to hear what T and G got to say about this. But Rome,
bro,
you think that Alex Smith
like he's a legend? So I imagine what you guys are going to talk about Kirk Cousins. He's some kind of god.
Well, here's my question. Look, here's my question. Rome, do you believe that Alex Smith deserves to be in the Washington football team Ring of Fame for his legendary comeback? Because I do agree the comeback was legendary. Is he a legendary quarterback? No. But do you think it's Ring of Fame worthy, considering all the names that are in that Ring of Fame?
No, I don't. I do not think Alex Smith belongs in the Ring of Fame at all. That does not take away from the legend of Alex Smith. Why would he be in Washington's Ring of Fame after 1.5 seasons, most of them injured? You know what I mean? But that does not take away from the legend of the athlete that is Alex Smith. Regardless of what these two haters beneath are saying right now, Alex Smith is a legend. The story is legendary. People will talk about it decades down the road. They both know it. We will bring it back up on this show. We've been running for a year, 10 years down the road. When it's Gas's 10th anniversary, we'll still be bringing up Alex Smith's legendary comeback. because nobody will ever top anything like that because it,
No,
it shouldn't have even happened in the
no. I
first
mean,
place.
I think we'll moving forward. We'll look at this as a cautionary tale, right? If somebody else takes that really gruesome injury, they're in the hospital. Like now, you're going to look at Alex and say, well, he came back, but he was never himself. He was never close to himself. You know what I mean? Like it just lets you know that in the game of football, one snap and your career could be over. Guys have made it back, but his career was essentially over.
So Alex Smith's great comeback, you think is going to tell people to not try to come back from an injury?
No, I mean you're always going to try, but I think it's just parents should be telling their kids that playing this sport, this is this could potentially happen. That one play could end your life. One play could end your career.
We knew that before Alex. Nobody came back like Alex did. So I can't get with that. Like his story is inspiring.
He didn't even come back and win 8 games. You know
Hey,
what
listen,
I mean?
man. Bottom line is the story is definitely inspiring. That's not a question, man.
Yeah.
Alex Smith's going down. He's going down in football history. You got to include that story when you tell the story of the 2020 season. It's a reason that he won the Comeback Player of the Year. Alex Smith definitely is immortalized for that comeback, but it doesn't change the career. He's just in the Hall of Decent to very good. That's all it is. He's not in the Hall of Fame, Hall of Decent. I'll give him that. Let's keep it pushing, man, with the NFL news. Next biggest news out of the NFL. My guy, Mike Tomlin, extended till 2024, man. Hey, I'm very high on Mike Tomlin. I think I'm going to say it, I think he's the best coach in the NFL. And it's not really a huge question to me. I've thought that for a while now. I think you can give Mike Tomlin just about – I think he's the best. I think you can give Mike Tomlin just about any team in the NFL, and he's going to make them a winner. The guy's hadn't had a losing season since he's been in the league. I mean, what coach can you say that about that's been in the league for 8+ seasons or 9, whatever it is? You can't say that about any other coach. He's the only one, actually. Well, you can say that about a couple of retired coaches, but none active. Mike Tomlin is a different breed of coach, man, and he leads by example. He leads not just with his talking and with his rah-rah stuff, but he leads, by being that perfect example for the whole team. I mean, you see guys come in there, they get their act together, man, and we've seen it countless times. Nobody had AB under control like Mike Tomlin did. Of course, at the end of his career got a little hectic, but I'm just saying, man, Mike Tomlin to me is the current GOAT right now doing it. Not of all time, but when you talk about the best doing it right now, I think Mike Tomlin's at the top. Where do you guys think Mike Tomlin ranks as far as coaches go right now? And what was your reaction to him being extended till 2024? G, I'm going to you, man.
I'm gonna say congratulations to Coach. Everybody deserves to keep their job, especially if you do win and take your team to the playoffs consecutively, except for like a year ago. But yeah, no, but is he the best coach in the NFL? Nah, you gotta get it to Bill Belichick or shit. Sean Payton is one of those kinds of coaches that I will consider ahead for the simple fact that he at least goes to the playoffs and makes a run. When's the last time that the Steelers even reached the Super Bowl? It's been like what over?
It's only 2 teams
years?
every year, but I mean, only 2 teams can go there every season. But
regardless of that, you just say he had the best. You rather take his record, but I'd rather take Bill Belichick that he's winning like at least 3 Super Bowls in the last.
Well, what did Belichick look like without Brady? I mean, come on, like I don't know who is the secret sauce in New England anymore. I don't know. That's to be argued.
1 year.
What did Tomlin look like without Ben?
He still had a winning record. He still had a winning record with Duck. Yeah. What was that boy's last name? Duck something.
Duck Hodges.
Scrooge McDuck at quarterback.
Dodgers.
Yeah, man. They had the mighty Duck at quarterback, and they had I don't know, bro. They had the replacements out there that season. Still had a winning record, man. It's impressive.
I mean, I don't know. I can't hate on Mike Tomlin, right? Like, I'm a huge Mike Tomlin guy. He did make it happen with Duck Goose or Duck Dodgers, whatever it was, but he's not the best coach in the league. He's top 3, top 5, top 3. I would say easy, but I can't put him above a guy like Belichick that's so proven. I mean, I just can't do it.
Belichick all time. I'm gonna give him the nod over Tomlin. I think right now though, I'd rather have Tomlin coaching my squad. I mean, think about it like this:
over Andy Reid,
Bill Cowher. Maybe Andy Reid. I did leave him out. But Bill Cowher's in the Hall of Fame, right, for being a legendary Steelers coach. Right now, at this very moment, Mike Tomlin is only 4 wins behind him. Think about that. And Mike Tomlin's still a young coach, bro. He's only 4 wins behind a legendary coach like Cowher, who's immortalized in Pittsburgh. So I mean, I get what y'all are saying, but I just rock with Tomlin. I rock with that type of leadership. T man, sound off.
I like Tomlin, man. He does. I mean, he beats the Ravens, so I love him. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? But honestly, you can't put him above like a Belichick or you can put him near Andy Reid, near Sean Payton. But the guy does win. I don't know what he does, but he wins. He finds a way to motivate. You said he had Antonio Brown. Bill Belichick had Aaron Hernandez. So I don't think we should hold Mike Tomlin up that high, but he is one of the greats. He deserves. I mean, I think the 49ers signed Shanahan to like a 6-year deal, so only extending Mike to 2024 is kind of crazy to me. I think you should have locked him in for a little bit longer. But he does things the right way, man. He's who I wanted Mike Singletary to be when the 49ers had Singletary as a coach. So I like Tomlin. I think he even was willing to trip a guy during the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, the guy
It don't get no more dedicated than that, bro. My man is trying to win at all costs, man. Just one more Tomlin nugget, bro. He's one more playoff win. Right now, he's 17th in NFL history in playoff appearances. One more playoff appearance, and he bumps up all the way to like 13th or 14th on that list. So your man is a young coach, and he's already putting himself up there in the upper echelon of coaches that have ever done this thing. I think when it's all said and done and we look back at his career, you'll have to view Mike Tomlin as one of the best to ever do it. Let's not forget. He's still young as far as NFL coaches go. We talk about Andy Reid. You know how many years it took for us to start viewing Andy Reid as a good coach? You know how many years people used to say Andy Reid was a choke artist when he was in Philadelphia, even when he first got to Kansas City? The narrative, it was a very bad narrative on Andy Reid for a long time. Now, he's changed that around with his recent Super Bowl win. But at the same time, man, Tomlin has already done that early in his career, and there's still room to grow.
You know what hurts Tomlin though? Bringing up Andy Reid just reminds me, like, Tomlin doesn't call plays. It's the same thing with John Harbaugh, right? Harbaugh's a special teams guy. Like, you don't call plays on offense, you don't call plays on defense, but you are the head coach. You are the guy. And I think Tomlin suffers because Belichick is a go ahead. Belichick is a defensive guy.
Somebody got to stop D Money today, man.
D Money on his 420, man.
Yeah.
420 D Money. But yeah, man, Tomlin. I don't think a lot of people know what Tomlin does specifically, right? You can point to Andy Reid and say he grooms quarterbacks. You can point to Sean Payton and say, you know what I'm saying, he grooms quarterbacks too. But like when we point to Tomlin, all we know, he wins. Like he just gets the team on one page. So I think he suffers from that. You know what I'm saying? He's a victim of his own success in a sense because we can't identify what makes Tomlin, but we know the results of this.
He got that secret sauce, man. Shout out to Mike Tomlin. Gee, you sound like you had one more thing to say about Tomlin.
Nah, Tomlin. Wait, so he don't even call the defensive plays for the Steelers?
No.
Well, I know they had the legendary. It was a Dick LeBeau for a minute, and he was a legend. I don't know if he's still. I don't think he's still coaching there though. So I don't know. I know who's calling the defensive plays now, but Tomlin. I'm sure Tomlin has an input though. It's not like he has no input. I mean,
of course,
all decisions go through Tomlin. When it comes down to 4-1, are we going for it or we kicking? It's on Tomlin.
We know. All right, we got the guy Vrabel, whatever else coach comes under Belichick, McDaniels and all that. We don't. Was Gates over there with them too? I don't know. No, Gates was with He was with them.
Coach. No,
that was a coach. All right, but that's what I'm saying. We don't know what is Tomlin's coaching tree like. We don't know the guys that he brought up to coach. So I think that part is missing, which, you know what I'm saying? The success is the success, but I think that part is missing for a lot of fans without even realizing it.
That's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. Honestly, I think to me, that's honestly a separating point between Belichick because when I really think about it, the success is definitely there, but there's no coaching tree. You don't hear anything about Tomlin's coaching tree. We got a Steelers fan weighing in here, though.
Are we really holding this against my man that he doesn't have a coaching tree?
No, I'm not
coach for 9 years. These men have been coaches for 20, 25 years.
You said it yourself. He had the legendary Dick LeBeau. So you know what I mean. Your coaching staff, the coaches you have with you, bolster your ability to coach. If you know what I mean. The more good coaches you have around you, the better you are. So as opposed to you're making coaches better.
And he may be making coaches better. But
we
like I
don't know.
said, it's a little more easy to identify with some of the other guys in the league versus Tomlin, because just like John Harbaugh, like as a fan, you really don't know what they do.
Good point. Good point. I mean, I feel like I know what Tomlin does. He sticks his leg out there and trips Bama's foot when it's time to win. That's the coach I want coaching me. That's the coach I want on my side, man. But let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving away from Mike Tomlin. I think it's a consensus that he is a great coach. I think we can argue on how great, how much of a legend he is. I'm firmly in the boat that he's a top dog right now in the league. Maybe one or two guys in competition with him, but he's one of the top dogs. So let's keep it pushing, man. Next topic for the NFL. We switching to the NFL draft, man. I got an old-fashioned buy or sell. Are you guys buying or are you guys selling my guy Justin Fields, man? I'm excited to see what you guys think about that. There's been a lot of conversation about Justin Fields perhaps going to the 49ers. Is it Fields? Is it Mac Jones? Who's really that top 3 quarterback available? Let's start with DeMello, man. Buy or sell on Justin Fields?
I am selling all the way. I don't trust no quarterbacks coming out of Oklahoma. I'm not Oklahoma. Ohio State. When is the last big Ohio State quarterback came out?
Dwayne Haskins.
I
knew he was going to do that.
Mike Tomlin guy.
I knew it. I knew
Mike
it.
Tomlin.
If Mike Tomlin turns around Dwayne Haskins, legend.
Hey, there you go. That'll definitely bump him up a spot.
Ohio State hasn't had a big name guy since 1999, so I don't see it happening now or ever in my lifetime. So now I'm selling all the way. And it's crazy. He was the consensus second best quarterback, and now he's falling to number 4 with no games played. Like, yeah, I'm selling all the way. I'm selling.
Man, you selling Dwayne? I mean, oh my bad, Dwayne. You selling Justin Fields? I'm buying Justin Fields all the way, man. Like, it's no question. I think this whole narrative of him, like, not being a hard worker, not caring about the game as much, it all started with a guy named Dan Orlovsky. If Dan Orlovsky's criticizing anybody for not being a hard worker, why don't you just pull up his NFL reference page? See what his completion percentage was. See what his win-loss record was, man. Who cares? Dan Orlovsky needs to keep his mouth shut about these prospects, man, because, I don't know, I feel like he was just talking off the side of his neck when it came to Justin Fields. Every account I've heard on Fields say he's a hard worker, he stays after, he comes early, and he's always prepared, always ready for the job. Not to mention, he took one of those memory tests and scored the highest of all time out of every NFL prospect ever. I mean, that basically goes to show you as a photographic memory. That's the type of thing you need at the next level, man. I'm buying 100% on Justin Fields. Now I got to flip it to my guy T Boogie, man, because at the end of the day, your team might just be suiting up with Justin Fields. So what you think? Buy or sell?
This is rough because Hansel stole my thunder. I'm buying any quarterback that falls into the 49ers. You fall into a potent running attack.
Hilarious. Of course,
genius head coach, top 5 defense. So I'm buying any quarterback that falls into the 49ers just because it's a great situation for a young quarterback. But outside of that, I don't know that I'd buy Justin Fields. The track record of Ohio State, like G said, is just ridiculous. I like what he did on the field. He battled against Alabama. He beat Trevor Lawrence with a broken rib. So he has grit, right? He's resilient. But because the 49ers have the number 3 pick, I've been watching so much tape, and like I can see why you might want Trey Lance. One thing that stood out to me about Justin Fields versus somebody like a Trey Lance, right? Because similar skill set, big arms, both mobile. Trey Lance is in a pro-style offense. Like, I'm watching him change the protections at the line of scrimmage. I'm watching him move guys around. I watch Justin Fields. He lines up. The whole team looks to the sideline to get the play. I don't know. I'm not saying he can't succeed at the next level, but what I'm saying is he's a guy that has to fall into the right situation. I don't think he's ready to come in, start day one, and light it up. There's been a few other prospects I like better than in previous drafts that have struggled too. So I'm really going to sell overall. But if he falls to the 49ers and he's able to sit a year, then I'm buying all the way. I'm buying any of the top 3 guys. top 5 guys that get to sit. It's the guys that don't get to sit I'm worried about.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, I feel like the best point you made right there was the situation. And I'm starting to feel like, especially when it comes to quarterback position, but really all these positions, your situation matters more than sometimes even the player that you are. I feel like there's probably a ton of quarterbacks that could have been good players, could have been maybe even a Pro Bowler if they were in the right situation, fell into the wrong hands, careers got ruined. But then again, maybe that's what Dan Orlovsky's saying. Rome, what you think about Justin Fields, man? Buying or you selling?
All right, before I give my answer, let me throw it to you like this, Bryce. The program that Justin Fields was in, is it any different than the one that Dwayne Haskins was? Like the coaching, the off, like was it any different?
No.
So why we've already seen the same product from Dwayne Haskins come out of Ohio State. If he's in the same offense, T just said it. He's looking at the sideline, getting the plays. Why would you buy that? You know he's not pro ready. Why would you buy that unless you have a specific package for it? Like that, it's a huge risk. If we're talking 49ers, we're talking top 3 pick.
Yeah.
Why would you go risk all that for a guy that's unproven? I don't have any reason to speculate on his work ethic, but I'm also selling because of that, because where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't think that the last quarterback came out with work ethic issues, and this quarterback coming from the same school isn't going to have the same issues. It's all kind of just ridiculous to me. I'm selling on Justin Fields, and whatever team he lands on, I'm calling it now. I think he's going to be a bust.
Damn, my boy Rome went bust though. My man said buy or sell or bust. I'm going bust. That's crazy. I mean, I feel you though. Like I see where you're coming from. It's hard for me to call Justin Fields a bust, and I think the main thing that's different between him and Dwayne Haskins is the athleticism factor. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if the play breaks down, Justin Fields gonna get out of there and use his legs. 4.4 speed, you can't teach that. And I don't know, man. If the arm he's got with the 4.4 speed, I just can't see it being a
what's
bust.
the difference between Justin Fields and Terrell Pryor, Braxton Miller, JT Barrett, the rest of the
maybe how about 40 touchdowns and 2 picks? I'm gonna go with that.
You can't teach 4.4 speed, but you can teach passing concepts. You can teach coverages and how to read them. And I don't know if Justin Fields is ready for that. And if I'm an NFL head coach, I'm not risking my top 3 pick on something like that. But I'm not a Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan, he might be able to make magic happen. So who knows?
Man, I think Kyle Shanahan's overrated, but that's just me. But I also think that a lot of these quarterbacks, one of the main things I never like seeing with quarterbacks is just 1 year of production. Like, I think a lot of these quarterbacks, Mac Jones, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, it's just 1 year of production. At least my guy Justin Fields has 2 solid years of top-notch, top-level production. That's one of the things that makes me a little more comfortable going with Justin Fields. Any more comments on Fields before we move on? Sounds like we got mostly sellers. I'm the only one buying Justin Fields. I guess so, man. I guess so. All right, let's keep.
We're gonna be like the Steelers. We're gonna get them on clearance sale. You heard?
That might not be a bad route, man. All right, but let's keep it pushing, man. So the next topic, we sticking with the NFL draft. Another quarterback who everyone has is a top-ranked prospect. Everyone actually has had him penciled into number 1 forever now, and that's Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence made some eye-raising comments, some eyebrow-raising comments recently about his NFL prospects. I want to get this right. I want to ask you fellas, do these comments bother you? So this is what Trevor Lawrence said, man. It's hard to explain that because I want people to know that I'm passionate about what I do, and it's really important to me, but I don't have this huge chip on my shoulder that everyone's out to get me, and I'm trying to prove everybody wrong. He doubled down by saying, I just don't have that. I can't manufacture that. I don't want to. And then again doubled down by saying, I don't need football to make me feel worthy. Now, fellas, I know some of you guys are going to say, hey, he's saying these are the right things to say. But I don't know, man. This is a little questionable to someone that's looking at him being the franchise quarterback for the next 10 to 15 seasons. G, I'm starting with you, man. Did you feel any type of way by these comments from Trevor Lawrence?
No. For what? You talking about the cat was a national champion his first year as a starter. Only has 3 losses or maybe 6 at most out of 4 years. He played all 4 years, right? Only played his
No,
junior
I
year.
think three. I think 3 seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't lose as many. What chip do you get? He's gonna give you? It is true what he said. He can't manufacture something he didn't go through, and that just showed me he got his head in the right zone. He's coming into a gritty job with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he's gonna try to win the job. Well, he is gonna win the job. He's gonna try to win his teams over. See, I mean, and he's coming from Clemson. I'm sure the last Clemson quarterback that got to play, he's a beast. So I'm sure he's gonna be just as much of a beast, even better.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like when I hear I don't got a chip on my shoulder, I can't manufacture. I need my QB to manufacture that chip. I need that chip on your shoulder. I don't know, man. T Boogie, what you think about Trevor Lawrence? Did the comments bother you at all?
Yes and no, right? Because all right, if I'm hiring a guy at McDonald's and he says my passion isn't really the cash register or making nuggets, you know what I'm saying? You're probably happy for him. But when I have $1 billion franchise, you know, for real. But if I got $1 billion franchise, I'm paying a guy $1 million salary, and you can't even lie in the interview. You know what I'm saying? You like by now you know what you should say, you know what you shouldn't say. A guy of his profile and stature, he's been coached on how to respond. But what I realize is he's from a different generation. You know, we're kind of in the middle. The people above us, they had a certain value, certain work ethic, a certain way you presented yourself. The generation below us, all they know is the internet. Like how they present themselves to the world is entirely different. And it reminded me of, and don't kill me, but it reminded me of something that I might have hated for LeBron to say. And when I thought about it, I said, in a sense, right, it might just be a guy that has a ton of pressure, and this is how he blocks out the noise. You know what I'm saying? This is how he gets it done, because performance hasn't been an issue for him. You know what I'm saying? Every step of the way, since he's been a kid, he's been the guy, and he showed up. So the comments don't bother me because he hasn't stumbled.
I feel that. He hasn't stumbled yet, but this might be a sign of things to come. I remember when we had this similar conversation about my guy, Anthony Edwards, that got drafted to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And when he got drafted, he said something to the effect of, you know, I like basketball, but I don't watch it. I don't like it that much. You know, he kind of was in that bag. You know, he didn't care
He's a
about
football
basketball
guy.
that much. Right. And everybody, from what I remember, y'all was ragging on him a little bit, man. Y'all was real questionable about Anthony Edwards when he said that. But when Trevor Lawrence says it, you know, it's all good. It's all good. You know, we can look right over that. I don't know. It's a little questionable. Rome, man, what you thinking about Trevor Lawrence's comments? Did they bother you at all?
First off, man, I can't believe T isn't bothered by it, man. You supposed to be the elder on the show. Now I got to be the grumpy old man. Let me get my grumpy old man on here real quick, man, because I'm big bothered by it, man. And maybe it's the old school in me, T. You're right. Our generation is in the middle. I'm leaning old school on this one all the way. First of all, my biggest problem with Trevor Lawrence is that he's been crowned. Like y'all said, he's every level he's played on since he was peewee. Throwing football in the backyard, dogging everybody, this, that, and the third. National championship as a freshman. First year starting, whatever. Look, there's a saying. It's called the NFL has a funny way of humbling people. Trevor Lawrence, you don't got a chip on your shoulder yet. Wait till you get to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Wait till everybody knows that you're the golden boy. Wait till linemen like Chase Young coming after you, laying you out. You're going to get a chip on your shoulder real quick. Or if you don't need football, ride out that rookie contract, go on into the sunset. You'll get a hair deal, I'm sure. But look, you better buckle up, bruh. I'm telling you now, man. Like it's pro football. There's a drastic difference between playing in college with guys that are not going to go pro, guys that are going to end up doing something like we're doing or doing something else in life, be a firefighter. I don't know. But you're talking about, you know what I mean? Like the best of the best in the world. That's who you're going to be playing against. So like Bryce said, I need my quarterback to develop a chip on the shoulder. Like T said, you got to be able to lie in this interview at least. If you ain't got the chip yet, keep your mouth shut till you get the chip. Because you can't be walking around like this, man. Trevor Lawrence, people are going to remember these comments, and he's going to get humbled. And we'll probably be talking about this again when somebody else brings this up week 1, week 2, and you know what I mean? Trevor Lawrence throws a couple picks.
So,
I mean, that's OG.
Ron, let me ask you a question. Y'all remember those and Bryce, you remember not to like the rain on Dwayne Haskins, but y'all remember his comments after he got drafted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Came back to bite him, right? It came back to bite him.
But my boy was talking super spicy with the chip on his shoulder. How did that look? How did that end up aging? Those comments end up aging.
It came back to
not,
bite him.
not good at all.
I
Not good
think
at all.
Josh Rosen had a chip on his shoulder too.
Okay, now we're bringing up guys that didn't work hard. Neither one of those guys were the golden boy that Trevor Lawrence has been. Neither one of the. Why would Trevor Lawrence have a chip on his shoulder? Everybody who's anybody has told him not to have a chip on his shoulder. If he turns on the TV, people probably aren't even mentioning him because he's already the number one pick. No one's talking about him. We don't even talk about him on our show because he's the consensus number one pick. Easiest number one pick in a long time. That's definitely where Jacksonville's going. Since Andrew Luck, right? So he knows that he's the man. Everyone tells him that. He's got the hair. He looks in the mirror, his hair is flowing. He wakes up, his hair is just flowing. Why would he have a chip on his shoulder? He's not going to get the chip on his shoulder till he gets hit in the mouth in the NFL, man. It happens to everybody. Everybody. The NFL has humbled every player that stepped onto the field.
I just feel like all he was saying is, if I go in and I'm a bust, my life, like I'm not going to jump off a bridge, which is actually ideal. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone can succeed. If you don't, you don't. But you don't want to hear it, right? But at the end of the day, you win. None of it matters. I think he intends on winning. I think he's always intended on winning. That's all he knows. So, I mean, maybe it comes back to bite him. Maybe he earns that chip after playing with the Jags and only winning 6 games. But as of now, I'm not mad at the kid. You know, he's being himself. He's being real.
Those comments don't sound like somebody who intends on winning. Those comments sound like somebody who assumes they're already going to win. Good luck in Jacksonville, though. Real winning organization.
Super.
I don't know. I think I'm somewhere in the middle on this, but Ron, you making some good points, man. I did think those comments, they rubbed me wrong a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But from what we've seen out of Trevor Lawrence, I mean, it's almost like the guy can't be a bust. I mean, if you watch his college career, I mean, I remember that when Deshaun Watson was coming out, Dabo Swinney said this guy's like Michael Jordan. Well, he said Trevor Lawrence is going to be a global icon, like not just an NFL star, but a global icon. If that happens, we're talking about Peyton Manning level. We'll see if he gets there, but I do think he has a chance. Let's keep it pushing, man. Let's stick in some NFL draft talk, man. With the draft just 9 days away now, let's get into something a little funny segment right here. Who's the draft pick that fooled you the most? The guy that you were sure on that ended up being a bust, man. I want to hear these. Because I know I got a couple, man. So I'm going to start with Rome. Let's hear it, bro. Draft pick that has fooled you the most over these last few years.
I mean, well, this will be quick. We already know. We saw it during the season. I was popping tags off jerseys and whatnot. Dwayne Haskins clearly fooled me more than any professional athlete has probably ever fooled me in my life. Good luck in Pittsburgh. I hope he turns around with Mike Tomlin, man. But damn, man, I thought we had one, Bryce. I thought we had one in Washington.
Yeah. I thought you ain't had to fall out your seat. It wasn't that funny, dude. It wasn't that funny. I thought we had one too, though, man. And it hurt to see him go out the way he did. But I do wish him the best in Pittsburgh. I got nothing against the kid, man. He from around the way, man. So I gotta wish the best for him. But he fooled me too. T, man, give me a draft bust. Let's have a little round robin with it, man. Give me a draft bust that fooled you the most.
The jury isn't out on him in my mind, but I was a huge Darnold fan, and I think a new change of scenery will help him. But another one that I just knew, like I just fed into the combine too much, man. John Ross. I'm thinking John Ross is going to be the next Deshaun Jackson at the least. You know what I'm saying? I was like 4.22. No one can catch him. I'll play with him on Madden. He'll catch every touchdown. He can't even get open on Madden. Like, he can't get open in real life. He can't get on the field in real life. Like, so John Ross, man, that was a disappointing one to me, man.
Yeah, definitely John Ross, man. He was blazing at the combine, though. Definitely thought he had a shot to be nice. Bengals could not hit on a wide receiver for the longest. Seemed like they might have turned their fortune around with T. Higgins. G, who's the draft pick that fooled you the most, man? Let's hear it.
Eric Flowers, man. I'm staying with Giants on this one, man. I really thought he was a big boy coming out of Florida. I'm like, he looked like he got it. And then when you start seeing him on the game, I'm like, bro, this dude is not doing his job. He's getting fucking blown through. Oh my God. It was just Headaches over headaches. And then you see him go down to Miami. He's doing his thing down there. I'm like, wow, he's New York. He's a better person.
Yeah, that's a lot of players. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, no, he left y'all, came to the Washington football team. When he came to Washington football team, he was
Yeah.
balling
He
out.
came with you guys? Oh my god.
Yeah. That's where he earned his contract. He earned his contract with us, man. So Eric Flowers did turn his career around, but early on, no question was a bust, man. I remember New York media was not light on Eric Flowers. They was going hard at the kid.
Bro, every game was just like, oh my god. It's like a fucking open door.
Yeah, he was a turnstile. He was a turnstile, man. But yeah, man. I every year I do a NFL draft big board, and y'all can go back and check my my accuracy on my big board and really see, you know, who I was high on and who I missed on, who I hit on. I think I'm batting about 600. You know, I got a pretty good batting percentage when it comes to my big board. But one guy I missed on, it was almost criminal the way I missed on this guy, man. I thought Hakeem Butler was the next Megatron, bro. And I was so wrong. I couldn't have been more wrong about Hakeem Butler, man. Out of Iowa State, and it's crazy because wide receivers are one of the positions I pride myself the most on hitting. And yeah, I'm pretty good at them, but with this guy, Hakeem Butler, man, I think I was just fooled by the measurables. Talking about 6'6", 225, ran in the high 4.4s, low 4.5s. Looked like he was about to be a dog, but he just could not put it together. Now they done switch my man to tight end. He done bounced from team to team. I think he's on the Eagles now as a practice squad tight end. It got ugly for my man, but I was definitely thinking that Hakeem Butler was going to end up being a dog on the next level. Just never worked out. Maybe he's one of those guys that's got into a bad situation, but I don't know. I think it might be a little more to that story, man. He just wasn't it. He just wasn't it. I definitely missed on that. Any other buzz, man? Anybody else got another one?
I mean,
Richard Trubisky.
I think,
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, and they traded up to get him, bro.
He didn't have me fooled, but he was a bust. I never believed in Trubisky.
nah, you know who I thought was gonna be all right, man? Trent Richardson.
Oh,
That's a
man.
good
T.
one.
Rich was a dog at
That's a good
Bama, bro. I thought he would have been at least
Hey.
like Derrick Henry. I mean,
Here's one who's kind of controversial. Based off the question, somebody who had me fooled, I would say Reggie Bush. I thought Reggie Bush was next level, bro. I thought Hall of Fame path. That was not the case at all.
Couldn't run between them tackles, man.
That's a good one. He
I mean-
became more like a gadget player for real.
Is he a bust? Would you say? I mean, his career wasn't, the worst. He was okay in Miami.
I mean, he's probably one of the greatest college players of all time. So, yeah, I think you got to call him a bust.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I mean, he was a first round pick, right, to the Saints. You go in the
number
first
2
round.
overall.
Yeah, number 2 overall. You go in the first round, you don't make no noise. Got to call him a bust. But he had his moments in the league. I'm not gonna say he didn't have any moments. He showed some flashes.
No, he made plays.
He made plays, but he just wasn't that guy he was at SC, man. That USC tape on Reggie Bush is ridiculous, bro.
Bro, that USC team was fucking stacked.
I was gonna say that might be one of the greatest college teams ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have to throw Reggie Bush
team was
in there on this topic.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I one more I got to go with, man, and maybe everybody probably doesn't agree with this one. Maybe y'all saw this one coming, but Geno Smith was a guy I was high on coming out of West Virginia. I thought Geno Smith was going to be nice. I mean, he did have a hell of a mob when he was at West Virginia. I mean, he was throwing what's my boy's name? Tavon Austin, Stedman Bailey. You know what I'm saying? Those were some really good college receivers. But I was high on Geno coming out. I thought he would have ended up having a better career. I think he's another guy that just landed in a horrible situation. I mean, really, if you look at his stats, they're not awful. Yeah, they're not awful. But when you go to the Jets, your chance of success is just already low. It's just already low, man. So Geno was a guy I thought would have been better in the league.
Good luck, Zach Wilson.
Is Andrew Luck a bust?
Oh, that's a good question. Andrew Luck. That's a good question. I know what you mean with that question, though. I know what you mean. Because if you look at it, the hype Andrew Luck received, he did not live up to that hype. And that is a fact, bro. And that's basically what a bust is. Someone that doesn't live up to the hype.
No.
If Reggie Bush is a bust, Andrew Luck is a bust.
No, Andrew
They
Luck
did not meet their expectations.
Andrew Luck balled. He didn't have anyone around him. Reggie Bush could not get the job done in his position. Andrew Luck, if you put some talent around him, he would have been the guy. Like he was still considered a top quarterback. Like
I don't know.
Reggie
Andrew
Bush
Luck.
was considered a top gadget player.
No. Nobody drafts a gadget player in the first round, man. Like,
Yeah, but G does make it. That is a good question, G. Because I mean, if you talking about guys that did not live up to that hype, the hype for Andrew Luck was ridiculous.
no, RG3 is a bust. Andrew Luck's not a bust.
Andrew Luck is a bust.
Well.
Both those QBs were a bust.
No, but I don't consider RG3 a bust though. I blame the Washington football team for letting him get hit and you let him get hurt during that preseason game that made him not be a bust. Because if he didn't get hurt, RG3 would have still been that guy.
Yeah, maybe, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know. RG3 was a one-trick pony. He didn't want to adjust to the league. After the league adjusted to him, that's not really a good recipe for success, man. He came into the coach's office and said, "These are the plays I'm not running anymore." That's not it, bro. That's just not it.
Bro, your own coach set up the third string team and let him play with them. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, I feel you, bro. But I think RG3. If you're gonna call Andrew Luck a bust, you definitely have to call RG3 a bust. It's like one cannot be a bust and the other one's not. Especially if you're going to RG3, the RG3 not being a bust route. I don't know.
I mean, the expectations that come with being the first and second overall pick are ridiculous. If we're putting levels on who's a bust, I would say Reggie Bush is much more of a bust than Andrew Luck. You know what I'm saying? Like RG3's level of bust isn't even comparable to Andrew Luck. Like Andrew Luck just didn't live up to his expectations.
That's a fact. But you never know, man. These busts can turn it around because Ryan Tannehill was a bust for a minute. He's turned his career around. So I'm kind of excited to see who was the next bust to turn his career around. But moving away from the bust and the players that fooled us the most, man. Let's talk about some of the best draft classes of recent memories, or even some of the best draft picks, man. I'll kick this one off. A guy that we mentioned in the last segment was Mitch Trubisky. Think about the quarterbacks that went after Mitch Trubisky. What year was that? A 2016 draft, I believe. That was actually a great year for NFL drafts. I mean, you had Josh Allen go after Mitch Trubisky. Deshaun Watson went after Mitch Trubisky, right? And I believe, was that Lamar Jackson's year too? Or am I getting them mixed up?
No, I think you're mixing them up.
That's the next year.
Yeah, that was next year, yeah. But I know Lamar Jackson and I believe Josh Allen both went after Mitchell Trubisky, if I remember correctly. Which is kind of ridiculous.
Josh Allen not in that draft.
Josh Allen not in that draft.
All right, so
happy 420.
right. And I've been put that down. But so all right, so who went after Mitch Trubisky?
Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson.
There it is, yeah. Pat Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
My bad. That's what it is. That's a great quarterback draft. And for you to miss at the top on Mitch Trubisky, to see Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson go after, that's ridiculous. That's a pretty strong draft class for quarterbacks. I think another draft class that was pretty strong was 2018 for receivers. I mean, you had Terry McLaurin, A.J. Brown, and DK Metcalf all go in the same draft. To me, those are guys that are all going to be – oh, and Deebo Samuel. I cannot leave out Deebo. Those are four guys that are going to be top-notch receivers for the next 10 years. And then on top of the year after that, you had another great draft class for receivers. So I feel like the last 3 years, this year included, have been excellent receiver draft class. I'm excited to see how this year's class kind of pans out. What you guys thinking about the draft classes, man? Who's a good draft class in recent memory?
Nah, you hit it. 2018, man. I'm looking at it right now. And, I mean, they got some names up there. Quentin Nelson, Bradley Chubb, Josh Allen, Roquan Smith. McGlinchey's been a starter. Minka Fitzpatrick. There's some names up there, man. Who else is on here? Derwin James, Jair Alexander, Van Der Esch. I think 2018 was solid.
Yeah, that's a hell of a draft. Although Van Der Esch, he might go down as a bust. But Ron, what you think, man? Any draft classes of note?
Yeah, I got two of note. I went 2008. I went back a little bit. I almost didn't want to put this one though because the number one pick. I don't know if anybody remembers the number one pick from 08. It's a forgettable pick. Jake Long, offensive tackle, right? So that kind of made 2008 fall off a little bit. He wasn't terrible, but it's just not a memorable name. But we had Darren McFadden, Chris Long, Matt Ryan in that draft. Jonathan Stewart. A lot of good players came out of that draft. Joe Flacco, Talib in the first round. But I think I wanted to go with 2012 as my most memorable draft in the last 10, 15 years. Really, if you look at who the Seahawks drafted alone in that draft, and if you add who they got in 2010, those two drafts created the Legion of Boom, the whole little mini dynasty that Seattle had. But the 2012 draft as a whole, we already talked about it. Andrew Luck, RG3. If you just look at the talent that came out of that draft before, their careers pan out, on paper, that draft is stacked. You had Trent Richardson, a lot of good players, a lot of busts too in the long run, though, also. But that's how it is with any draft. You got to let these things play out. I think we're going to look at some of these guys you just named. We let some of these things play out. You might look at it different in 2-3 years, but 2012 on its face value was a stacked draft.
Yeah, 2012 definitely. It looked like those guys were going to be superstars. DeMello, any draft classes of note?
No, I mean, besides the Odell Beckham draft here, which is just like that was stacked receiving class right there. That has to be my favorite draft.
Hold up, Odell Beckham, that's the Josh Doxson year, right?
That was bad.
How
That was a bad
many?
pick. Josh Doxson. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Talk about another bust that I thought might be decent.
I didn't want to get too deep in it, Bryce, but in 2008, the Eagles drafted Deshaun Jackson. Do you remember the two receivers we drafted in that second round?
Devin Thomas?
I wish I didn't remember them. It was not only was it Devin Thomas, but it was also Malcolm Kelly. And the best thing Malcolm Kelly ever did was his freestyle rap in the Oklahoma locker room. My boy killed that joint. If you never heard Malcolm Kelly's freestyle, bro, go ahead and YouTube that right now, because that was the best thing he ever contributed to the.
Not drafting any rappers.
But he killed that joke though. He killed that rap. I ain't gonna fake off the top too. But hey, that's a pretty good little segment right there, man. So let's keep it pushing away from these NFL topics. I think we hit the draft enough. We coming to the draft next week too, with it being 9 days away. That gives us one more show to kind of hammer down some more draft talk. So let's move on to the NBA. And the biggest story in the NBA right now, it's got to be the boy Chef. It's got to be the Chef right now, because the Chef is going dumb, man. Steph Curry is going crazy right now. He just became the oldest player to have 11 straight 30-point games or more, of course, in NBA history. He beat Kobe's record. Anytime you beat a record held by Kobe Bean, you're doing something serious, man. Steph Curry going dumb. In these past 11 games, he had games of 49, 47, couple 30-point outbursts. But I mean, he's shooting threes at an all-time high. He just became the player with the most 10 3-pointers in a game is ridiculous. Nobody's done it more than 2 times, I believe, and Steph Curry has now done it over 5 times. Dude is ridiculous from Trey balls.
No. He's done it 21. No one else has done it over 5.
I think I was talking about in the season. I was talking about in the season. But it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous how Steph Curry is going crazy right now. And people are starting to making rumblings out there that Steph Curry's playing his way into the MVP talk. I can't buy that, because we've had 3/4 of a season up to this point. But what y'all thinking about Steph Curry going dumb right now? And what y'all thinking about the Warriors' chances of, in the playoffs? You think they can make some noise, man? T, I'm starting with you.
Man, it's crazy to watch what Curry's doing right now. Like, I play my son in 2K. He played with Golden State every game. And, what I'm saying, before this run, I kept telling him, nobody plays like this. This is not basketball. You can't take one guy and just run around and shoot a bunch of threes and win games. And no, he's just doing what he sees on TV. Steph is running around, shooting 23s a game. And he's killing. He's going crazy. And it was, I was just hard on Curry a couple weeks ago. But, he seems to be the guy who we forgot about. I mean, he's putting the team on his back. He's got a bunch of randoms, but he's putting the team on his back. I don't know how far to get him. I'm not saying that another guy couldn't get that team further, but what he's doing is must-see TV. So it's entertaining at the very least.
No, that's a fact, bro. Steph going stupid. And I think, we always talk about the 3-point shot when it comes to Steph Curry. I think an underrated part of his game is the conditioning, bro, because the boy runs the court nonstop, bro. Like, what type of shape you got to be in to run around that much, then have enough energy, enough juice to still knock down those shots from long range? pretty ridiculous stuff, man. Rome, what you thinking about Steph Curry, man? The chef going crazy. Sound off.
Man, I'm glad T mentioned it, man, because you were hard on my boy a couple weeks ago. That was in March or whatever though, but it's April now. You know what they say about April, right? April showers. I'm guessing Steph Curry took that to heart because this man has been making it rain all month, bruh. Like this man has been going, like it says on the ticker, dumb. Like it's crazy the pace he's going at. It's unreal. T just compared it to 2K. That's really what I had in my notes because that's really what it is in real life, man. The man is doing things that really can't be done, but he's doing them, and we're seeing it be done. So the MVP race, like y'all said, it's already 3 quarters into the season, so it's kind of ridiculous to bring that up. But if he was keeping a pace like this, you know what I mean, sustaining something like this, I think it wouldn't even be a question. But I think they're definitely going to make some noise come playoff time. I know we're about to get into that in a second, but yeah, Steph is going off right now, and it's a sight to see.
Nah, definitely excited to see it, bro. Your boy Steph is just going crazy, man. It's nonstop. The dude he's legit. He's legit. This is what he does, man. He's done it for some seasons now. I think T was right. We might have slept on him a little bit. But I think a part of that is because of where the Warriors have been standing in the standings all season. They haven't been up there. I think they're still in like the 10th or 9th or 10th spot as we speak. G, what do you think about the Warriors' chances of making the playoffs? And if they make it, do you think they can make some noise?
You're talking about playing in the playing game, right?
Or just making the playoffs in general. If they make the playoffs, do you think they make some noise with the way Steph Curry is balling right now?
You're talking about the playing game, right? I'm trying to break it down to that because he's gonna win in the playing game tournament. Yeah, he's gonna take that 8th seed if he's going in as a 10. But they're gonna make noise. What they're gonna face? They're gonna face the Jazz, right? If they come in 8th place, no, they making no noise.
No, play the Mavericks.
How
No,
are they Mavericks?
No, because 7 plays 8 in the standing or
Yeah.
whatever.
The 7,
Yeah, but
the 7 plays the 7
tournament.
plays the 7 plays the 10. I'm sorry, the 7 plays the 9, the 8 plays the 10. So
No, 7 plays 8. Trying to tell you.
7 plays the 8 in the play-in tournament?
Yeah. And the winner of that game gets the 7th seed.
Gotcha. Okay.
The loser of that game plays the winner of 9-10. I mean, I guess we'll get to it a little later, but they structured it a little different.
So what you're saying is Steph is definitely going to make some noise come playoff time.
He's definitely going
to. If it's a play-in tournament, right?
He's giving you one game. That's all he's giving you.
Who wants to see him in that one game? Nobody's going to want to see him in that one game.
If you finish in 7th or 8th, you might get 2 games. You're going to get 2.
And then who's to say they get to a series and he doesn't steal some games? The way he's shooting.
You don't want to see Steph. You don't want to see Steph Curry if you're the Jazz, bro. If you're the Jazz, you don't want to see a hot Steph, bro. I'm sorry. You don't. And once Steph gets hot, Draymond gets in his bag. You just don't want to see that, bro. That's the last thing you want.
Bro, I could live with Draymond trying to shoot the 3.
But you can't live with Draymond getting hype and getting everybody else hype. Draymond game not really shooting or scoring. Draymond game is bringing that energy. And once Steph starts lighting it up from trades, next thing you know, Draymond's hype, whole Warriors is rolling, bro. I don't know, man. That's the last team I want to see if I'm in the Western Conference and I'm looking at one of those bottom feeders.
Nah, not me, man. The Jazz have 2 guards. Last time I seen Steph in the playoffs, I feel like he was struggling with Van Vliet. So I'm not buying Steph making too much noise in the playoffs against any of the top 5, 6 teams in the West. Like, you can shoot a lot of threes, but playoff time, you got to play defense. Who are you guarding? You
put up enough points, you don't got to guard nobody, man. The way the chef balling right now, bro, I don't know, man.
That means you count on Wiggins or Oubre to go crazy too. Like, I'm not buying it, man. 50 not going to do it in the playoffs. That gets you 1 game.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they still got to make it too. They still got to make it. I mean, they in an uphill battle. At the end of the day, you in the play-in tournament, you're definitely in an uphill battle. But I don't know, man. The way Chef balling right now, I just can't count him out, bro. I can't count him out.
I'm not mad at you, but yeah, play-in tournament, but he's good. It's good, right? We still get to see him in another 4 or 5 games, so that's fun. Kids love him. His jersey's probably number 1, and he's playing out of his mind right now. He stole the scoring title from your boy.
This
You know what I'm saying? Bill will have to battle back.
It's still not over, sir. But I got a question for y'all though. I got a question for y'all. If you were to trade, right? If you were to swap Steph Curry for James Harden, and James Harden was on the Warriors right now, you think the Warriors would have a better record in the West? Like how much of an impact does Steph really have on winning? Like T making some good points. I mean, 50 not gonna give you nothing if you can't play defense. 50's not gonna give you nothing if you're not really a facilitator. But if James Harden was on the Warriors instead of Steph, do you think the record is better or worse?
Better. It's way better. And
that's assuming we get the in shape James Harden. Look at the situation that Steph Curry's in, and tell me that you put James Harden in that situation and then he doesn't get bloated.
What?
Come on. I mean, like
the man got cramps. He's bloated. He's PMSing.
I'm just saying, bro. When James Harden isn't paired with another superstar, he falls off a little bit. When he's in his element and he's got what he wants around him, we see the James Harden we see. But
James Harden took the Rockets to the playoffs by himself.
And really almost beat the Rockets if it wasn't for that fluke little play by Zaza Pachulia. I'm trying to remember who Zaza fouled all dirty.
Talking about the Thunder, yeah. But yeah, he took him by himself, bro. Steph has never took anyone anywhere by himself.
He's doing it right now.
We're talking about playing game. We're talking about playing game. They might have made the playing game just to get more TV viewership for Steph.
Yeah, that says a lot about Steph, though.
Yeah, he's fun. He's fun to watch, but Harden. I mean, you're not going to tell me PJ Tucker and Daniel House and another cast of randoms are better than Wiggins, Oubre, Draymond. Who else is on that team, man? You got the number 2 pick in Wiseman.
Hey, man.
I just question the motivation of James Harden. If you tell me he's okay with being in that situation and he's going to give me his full effort, then I'm riding right with you. Right. But we've seen in the past, if he doesn't get his way, we might not get the James Harden we want to get.
I'm telling you. No, go ahead, T.
I'm telling you, Steve Kerr would trade Steph Curry for James Harden straight up.
So you guys think that James Harden's a better player than Steph Curry? Because I definitely think James is better than Steph. But what do y'all think? James or Steph? Who's a better player?
I mean, I'm taking James. I'm taking a motivated James.
I'm taking Curry.
Steph G?
I'm taking Curry.
That's a good one, though. That's a good one. That's a good debate right there.
This is why I'm taking Harden, right? Because even when Harden's not scoring, he can still finish with 17 assists.
Mm-hmm.
He can still finish with 18 assists and 12 boards. Like, he can give me something else. Steph is either I'm hitting my shot, I'm scoring, or I'm not. You know what I'm saying? It's on or off.
That's a fact. James got dimensions to his game. All right, let's keep it pushing, man. G mentioned it earlier. T mentioned it earlier. The NBA play-in tournament is pretty interesting. Pretty interesting situation. I thought it might just be something they kept during the COVID, during the bubble, but it is carried on. It looks like it's here to stay, man. Are y'all buying or selling an NBA play-in tournament? Is this something that you feel like gives too many teams a chance? Are 20 teams having an opportunity to playoffs? 20 out of 30. You know what I mean? Like, is that too many teams? Over 66% having a chance at the playoffs. What are y'all thinking, man? NBA play-in tournament, buy or sell? G, I'm starting with you.
I'm only buying because of this COVID situation. But once COVID is got on and gone out the way, and we got more fans in the stadium, we could throw that plan away. I buy right now because there's no fans right now. So you want to give these extra teams extra motivations to keep on playing. Because we all know come May, the season is almost over. No one's playing under the starters. With this now, you get teams to like, all right, if we have a chance, since we're in the 9th and 10th spot, we can get into the playoffs. You're going to want your starters to keep on playing. Every game counts from here on out compared to like, well, all right, we already got our A's. It don't matter.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think I agree with that, man. I wouldn't mind seeing them keep it past COVID. I think this should be something that we keep. I mean, why not? Why not? I think they can even throw more wrinkles into it to make it even more interesting. But I don't know. I think I do like the concept, especially for the current landscape of the league with no fans. Rome, what you thinking about the NBA play-in tournament, man?
Bryce, what other wrinkles you want to throw into this play-in tournament? You want to throw in some participation trophies too, man? We already got 20 teams out of 30 getting a chance. Like, come on, bro. It's like G said. At best, I'll buy it for the
Right.
pandemic type season, but I do not even want to hear the words play in tournament after this. This is ridiculous, and it's funny to me because the NFL just did this thing where they added a playoff team too, and it's like you got half the damn teams in the NFL getting a shot to get in the playoffs now. It's like the playoffs should be an exclusive tournament reserved for the teams that have the best regular season, not just some, oh hey, you the 10th seed, you randomly beat me for one game, now you're in the playoffs. Like, no, come on now. What if a player goes down? What if a player has COVID? What if a player's out? Nah, the play-in tournament is silly to me. But G made some compelling points, so I'll say bye just for the sake of the pandemic season.
I feel it. Here's a little wrinkle I was thinking of, and I actually thought of this when I first heard NBA playing tournament. So what if like the first seed, right, number one seed? I feel like they should have the most cupcake walk in the playoffs because they earned the number one seed, right? So what if the number one seed, essentially their first two games, guaranteed against the eighth seed, right? So they play the eighth seed. If the eighth seed wins one of those games, it is a regular 7-game series, right? You got to beat them 3-1, or you got to beat them whatever, or excuse me, 4-1 or whatever it may be, 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, whatever, right? But if that eighth seed loses both games in a row and you get up on them 2-0, now you got to play the ninth seed. So the ninth seed basically has to beat the number one seed 4 games in a row, you know what I'm saying, or 4 games without getting eliminated, to have a chance to even play in. The thing I don't like is a team like that's the 10th seed that's had no chance. They've had no chance all year. You randomly beat the 7th seed or the 8th seed, and now you get a full series with the number one seed. I don't like that idea. I feel like it's kind of cheap. Like I feel like if you're the 10th seed, your back really needs to be against the wall to even have a chance to play in this tournament. And that's the thing I don't like about it. I feel like you're rewarding a little too much losing. Although my team gonna have a shot at the playoffs because of it, I just feel like we're starting to reward losing a little too much. Like Rome said, we get into participation trophies, and I never liked those, man. I always hated the participation trophies. I always put them in the back of my trophy cases and have my big boy awards, my most outstanding players, and all them Jones in the front because the participation trophies never sat right with me. But T, man, you buying or selling the NBA playing tournament?
I'm buying. I mean, people complain whenever you change the playoffs, but it always works out. They complain about college football. It worked out. They complained about having to play in games in college basketball. It worked out. Like, and my man Brooks hit the head on the nail, hit the nail on the head, whatever, hit the nail on the head. This is really for the fan bases of teams that are consistently in that 7 to 10 range, 7 to 12 range. The Knicks, the Bucks before Giannis, the Magic now. Like, this gives you a reason to watch, because I know as a Bucks fan, there were seasons where I kind of tuned out. Like, I mean, we're not making the playoffs, so I'm not really going to watch. Now, you can sneak in. A 10th seed can sneak in. At 12 and 11, it will look crazy to tank if you're 2 games out of it. 15 games to go in the season, and you're tanking when you could potentially make the playoffs. Like, it looks a bit more crazy now. So I'm buying it all the way. And the way it's formatted, they do reward you for being a better seed, right? So 7 and 8 play. Whoever wins get the 7th seed. Whoever loses has to play the winner of the 9 and 10. So if 7 beats 8, 8 has to play the winner of 9 and 10. So, you know what I'm saying? If you're a 7th seed, you get that one win, you're still the 7th seed. If you're actually 7th seed, that shouldn't be an issue, right? If you're the 8th seed and you lost to the 7th seed, hey, you got to play again. Prove to me that you're better than those teams. It's more playoff games. You get to see some players that probably won't make the playoffs in playoff style basketball. Imagine a 8-9 team or 9 versus 8 playing for the 8th seed, and it's double overtime. Like, I don't care what 2 teams it is. It's going to be exciting basketball. It's still pros. So more playoff basketball, less tanking. That's a win to me.
All right, first of all, T, the college football playoff system, it doesn't just work. Like, people debate that still to this day, bro. Like, it's not instantly just better. People debate on who should be in all the time.
It's better than what they had.
Way better than what the college
it's definitely way better than what they had. It's definitely way better than what they had, but it's not, let's not just gloss over that like it's some perfect system. But anyway, let's get back to the NBA, bro. Like, if we're gonna do things like play-in tournaments and stuff like that, stop doing conferences. I don't want if we're gonna do something like this, don't give me a team that's below 500. Like I'm looking at it now. You're talking about a 10th seed in the Eastern Conference. The Bills are so far below 500. Why would they be even talking about being in a playoff situation at all? Like if that's your squad going into a playoff situation, pack it up and go home. Like y'all don't deserve to be in the tournament, period. So if we're gonna do something like that, I think we got to get rid of conferences and stuff like that.
What if your team is in the 10th seed or 11th seed or whatever because of injury? You know what I'm saying? Not because they're a bad team, because somebody went down. Well, your star player goes down, right? Like LeBron, let's say LeBron and AD were out most of the season. When they came back, you would instantly want to see the Lakers in.
Okay, so if they can't keep pace without their two star players, then we need to stop paying the GMs however much money they're getting paid. People get paid to put these teams together, bruh. Like we're not using the injury. Like we're not gonna give extra playoff spots because people got hurt. It's part of the game. It's part of sports.
Yeah, I know a couple NFL teams that would love to have a play-in tournament if it's about injuries.
I mean, making the NFL playoffs bigger would work too.
We're not putting in sick days for playoffs, bro. Like if you're hurt and you don't make the playoffs, you just don't make the playoffs, bro. We're not putting in sick days for that.
Over 50% of the teams making the playoffs, bro. Like we talking about over 50% of the teams making the playoffs at this point. That's kind of ridiculous, bro. Like
no, it's not. It's not because they're not getting in all. They're all not playing 4-game series. They're just deciding who's going to be 7th and 8th.
If you can't get more wins than losses, your team can't be talking about no playoffs. If you have more losses than you have wins, you can't associate with the playoffs.
Team. Look at the Washington football team. What was their record? What was their record?
We were first in the division, bro.
Right,
I said, then we got to get rid of divisions and stuff. Then we got to get rid of the conferences and the divisions.
Like you were talking purely on your record. You had a terrible record, but you arguably played the Super Bowl winning Bucks the best. So, I think that was an exciting game. That was a better game than the actual Super Bowl.
Yeah, but if you're talking about football, you're talking about 16 games in the entire season. You got 72 games to prove yourself in the NBA. If you ain't proved yourself in 72 games, you don't deserve to be there. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. It's not like you got 16 games and every game matters.
Yeah,
take this season serious.
What you guys are talking about is competition and the competitive nature of sports, and you want to see the best there, right? But what I'm talking about is pure entertainment value, right? If I'm a fan of a city, I live in a city where my team they're not going to win, right? But I still get to see my favorite player or my favorite team in the playoffs. Like as a fan, as a young fan,
sounds like a participation trophy.
Yeah,
you a Bulls fan, man. Look like you guys on the.
Are you trying to tell me?
I'm getting that 10th seed. What you think, G?
Listen, I agree with what T says. It's all about giving the fans what they want, extra game to watch. That's like what I said earlier. Is like most teams pack it up by now. Not like teams are forced to you gotta start, you gotta keep playing. Every game that counts from here on out. Like I personally don't want the Bulls to keep on winning because I do want a lottery pick. But at this point, it is what it is. It is what it is.
T want this shit to be the NCAA tournament, man. Just have all 30 teams. Put all 30 teams in the tournament, rank them 1 through 30, man. Why not? You know what's kind of dope though? Like overseas in the football leagues and the soccer leagues, they have different tiers of leagues, right? So let's say you're in League A, right? If you're in League A, the league below you has a chance to get to League A if they win League B. Now, the G League isn't that big. But it would be kind of dope if like the winner of the G League hops up into the big boy NBA and now they competing with the big boys. I don't know, something like that. I always like that about overseas sports, how they had the leagues tiered, and if you win your tier, you get to hop up with the big boys.
I mean, that's interesting, but I don't know if it'll work here, man. We too top heavy. Like the pros are the pros. Yeah. Unless you make the league smaller, so you could take away teams like Jacksonville, Washington, like the teams that just keep losing. The Browns, like you can make those tier below.
So we're gonna make those teams a tier below, or advocate for extra playoff spots for these poor cities with their loser teams. Like
I would just walk down
As a fan of Washington, a diehard fan, a team that loses constantly, we don't need no extra playoff spots. We don't need none of that. Like all these teams, if you're below 500, take your L. Take your L. Reboot.
Washington
You'll
should not be
appreciate
in the
it more.
playoffs.
You'll appreciate it more when you finally do make the playoffs.
Like,
And I agree to an extent. I
watched this city go crazy because their team made the playoffs with a terrible record in a terrible division, and by all accounts shouldn't have been there. And now,
thank the NFL committee for Clemson.
Come on, man. Like,
That's pretty funny, bro.
You can't be on both sides of the argument. You were happy. You wore the gear.
Hey, we shouldn't have been in at 7-9, but the way the playoffs are set up, the playoffs are set up,
you made wings. You invited your friends over.
It's not my fault the playoffs are set up that way. Like you said, every fan deserves to enjoy this, T. Like I'm one of those fans that you were just talking about enjoying it. Thank you for my participation.
I did it for you.
I don't know, man. I think we're getting down a slippery slope. We just start letting everybody into the halls, man. I do not believe that over 50% of the team should be in. But at the end of the day, supply and demand. The fans speak. The fans want it. You got to give the fans what they want. It's more at the end of the day, what it really comes down to, it's the bread. It's more money for the leagues, man. Like it's not about the fans. So if you really think this is about the fans, you're fooled. It's all about the money. They just collecting bigger checks. NFL added a 17th game to collect another check. They're going to expand the playoffs to collect another check. It's all about the checks, man. Let's not fool ourselves. Keeping it pushing though, man. Let's go to this next topic, bro. I think I'm over the play-in tournament. All those pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Speaking of other play-ins, I know some of y'all are playing in right now. Y'all are playing in Dogecoin right now. Some of y'all are trying to be like Scrooge McDuck pretty soon if Dogecoin hits the moon, man. Let's have a little conversation about Dogecoin and these other cryptocurrencies, man. I want to get you guys' opinions on these, man. First of all, are you guys in Dogecoin? Do you think Dogecoin is going to the moon? What do y'all think about this? Yeah, T, what do you think, T?
I think it's actually pronounced Dogecoin. What's crazy is I invested in this. I called it Doggy Coin. You know what I'm saying? I invested in the Doggy Coin. I don't know, man. Beginning of COVID, and I did it as a joke. I just threw a bunch of money at it and told my boy, like, it'll probably never happen, but if it hits $1, like, we're gonna make a lot of money. And $1 is to the moon when you start from below a penny. So I think it will hit $1. I don't think the currency itself will have any relevancy, but $1 is literally to the moon. You're going to see some millionaires made if this thing gets to $1. So I've already sold some of mine. I know they.
You didn't hold it. Come on, bro.
Look, man. What I learned.
Come on, Hodor.
Look, man. You can. I still have money in it, but you got to take some of your profits just to be safe, man. It's only sensible. You know what I'm saying? I don't got time to wait for it to hit $1. Give me my money. I can reinvest it. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's to the moon. I think it's going to hit $1 by 2022.
Man, you got to hold, man, especially after the way Bitcoin went crazy, bro. You hold that. You bought Dogecoin, dog, whatever it is. If you bought it under a cent and you didn't hold, man, I don't know, bro.
This coin was made as a joke. Like, it's a joke currency. Like, it didn't have any real world relevancy. And honestly, right now, its only relevancy is to make poor people rich. Like, it has no practical application. Its only relevancy is everybody let's buy in, right, to push the price up, because that's what happens. The more people invest, the higher the price goes. At some point, people are going to take the profits. Somebody's going to be a loser. It's not going to be me. I already took some profits.
You sound like you took most of your profits over there. How you feeling about Dogecoin, Doggy Coin, whatever you want to call it, man? How you feeling about it right now, bro?
It's just like what T says. The moment you see there's a getaway plan, you take your money, you bounce, because this is joke currency. It was basically joke currency. I'm not telling you like, yo, invest some of them stimmy packages they send you, but take whatever. If you're already invested in and you seen whatever you wanted to see, take your money out and invest in some real stocks. Go put your money where it should be, somewhere better. I mean, right now it's just like, yeah, it's crazy. What is it, like at 34 cents now?
I haven't even
No,
looked at
I
that.
ain't checked it in a minute, but
I
30
remember
It's in the 30s though.
the day before it went up to 50 cents, then it dropped to 40, and then it dropped. It
That
went back up to 50, and
that's
then
because people
dropped
were
to
taking
50.
their profits, baby.
Yes.
Hey, well, I know one thing, man. Everybody talking about it's a joke currency. I know the Mavericks are not a joke organization, and they're taking Dogecoin as a form of payment for Mavericks tickets and Mavericks merchandise.
I mean,
You see some more.
shout out to Mark Cuban for that though, because he's trying to help the little guy. You know what I'm saying? Elon Musk too.
I don't think I think he's trying to help himself. I don't think none of these
Yeah,
guys
I
are trying to help the
mean,
little guy, bro. I'm
No,
not
no, no,
fooled
no.
by these. They trying to help themselves, and not only that, I also heard Amazon thinking about starting to take Dogecoin. So if that happens, Doge might really go to the moon, man. Rome, what do you think about Dogecoin as a cryptocurrency?
I don't know too much about Dogecoin or Dog E coin or whatever it's called. But I think T was smart for investing and getting his money now. It's always smart to pull out before. It's always smart to get
That's
your
what she
bag and
said.
leave. It's,
That's what she
it's always,
said.
the sooner you get out, the better. Y'all fellas obviously know what I'm talking about.
Superman says it's always smart to pull out.
Deciding
I would
whether
agree.
to pull out or not will change your life, one
Hey,
way or another.
you see, I got the dad hat, so obviously don't take too much advice from me.
Weak.
Yeah, I
Weak
feel it,
pull
man.
out.
I feel it. I don't know. I feel like even if it being a joke, you know what I mean, and I get that, but I do think that currency in general, even the United States dollar, man, like this our dollar used to be backed by gold. There was a time in the 50s, the 40s, the 30s, you could take all of your savings, right? You could stack your money in a shoebox, show up to the bank and say, "Teller, give me my gold," and they would have to exchange your cash for gold because we were on the gold standard. Ever since then, ever since we've got off the gold standard, you know what it's backed by? Essentially, it's backed by faith. And I feel like a lot of these cryptocurrencies are the same thing, man. It's all about how much faith people have in that currency. And I feel like over the last few weeks, people have shown that the Dogecoin faith is rising and is rising and is rising. If that faith continues to rise, we can see this currency go crazy. It can go to $1. It can go to even $5. Who knows? The cryptocurrency market is volatile. It's unpredictable. You don't know where it's going to go. I remember when Bitcoin was kind of, catching fire. People were very skeptical. And because of that, a lot of people lost out on these huge gains, these huge returns that they could have gotten. So, I do think you're smart to take some profit, but I also think you're smart to take some profit, reinvest that same money at a lower buy-in, and just keep rinsing and repeating that same cycle. I don't think it's totally smart just to take your gains and forget about Dogecoin altogether, because you might miss out on a little bit of bread. And, we all need a couple extra ducks in the
Fact. Look, volatility is what you need when you're trading. You need things to go up and down, buy low, sell high. So if it's just steadily rising or steadily declining, you can't really make the money. But I'm gonna give y'all a play, man. Take some of them Dogecoin's profits and buy Fisker. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
That's another coin?
Nah, it's a electric vehicle company.
Oh, okay.
They were actually out before Tesla. You know what I'm saying? But the Fisker never caught on. A couple rappers had them, but never caught on. But electric vehicles are a thing of the future. The company is bound to grow. I'm talking about 100% the next year or two. So take a shot, man. If you got $100, throw it at Fisker. It's only gonna get you 200, but that's more than you had yesterday.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact, man. I think the whole crypto wave is kind of interesting, man. I can see this going to a point where crypto is kind of maybe not overtaking the dollar, but getting to a point where the U.S. Treasury is going to have to do something about this. They're going to look around like, we got to drop our own crypto. Don't be surprised when the U.S. drops their own official crypto.
The dollar is essentially already crypto. Like everywhere I go, you pay with Cash App or you use your card, you hold your phone up. I don't keep paper money on me. I don't keep change on me. The only time is if I go to a restaurant, I feel better just tipping versus writing my tip in. That's just something weird with me. But paper money has no place these days. You know what I'm saying? So
it kind of is like crypto, but it's not like crypto in the sense that the worth there's no investing per se in the dollar the way you can invest in these coins. I really do think the time is coming where the United States Treasury drops its own cryptocurrency to compete and essentially wipe out all the cryptos on the market right now. And once that happens, it's a wrap. Get rid of your Dogecoin, get rid of your Bitcoin, because I'm telling you, the Treasury is coming with their own coin eventually. Mark my words. And when that happens, it's a wrap for these new millionaires that are being made right now. But hey, man, for now, get your money up. Let's send them all to the moon, man. And hey, make sure if you know about a Fisker at 1293, appreciate that, B. But if you do know about a coin or a couple investments like my man T just dropped a Fisker, go ahead and let the panel know. Drop it in the comments, man. We all trying to get rich together. We all trying to go to the moon at the same time, man. There's enough out here for us all to eat. I don't know, man. Let's keep this in the family, guys. Keep this in the family.
Definitely.
Hey, man. So, another great episode, fellas. I feel like we touched a lot of topics today, especially starting off with the Derek Chauvin murder verdict. I think that's huge for not just for the culture, but just for the country in general. So shout out to that jury for doing the right thing. Let's just hope that we see less and less of these crimes being perpetrated on the people, because it's a sad day whenever it happens, and it takes time to get that justice. And if we don't have to worry about those instances ever happening, we don't have to worry about fighting and then being relieved when we finally get justice. So like I said, man, another great episode, man. Hey, T, let the people know where they can find Gas.
Hey, man, you can find us on IG, Twitter, man. Sports for the Culture. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us wherever you got the socials, man. Say smoking the Chauvin pack.
For the culture.
Hey, man.
For the culture, man.
You can find us, you know what I'm saying, goodasssportsblog.com. Like, we're everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Did I miss one? I feel like we need a TikTok. Do we got a TikTok yet?
Nah, man, we are about to be on the smart TV, so keep an eye out on that, man. Once you can download that, once you can watch the fellas on your smart TV, it's over, man. And don't forget about the merch, man. You see me and T rocking the shirts today. Go ahead, grab you a Gas shirt, grab you a Gas mask, grab you a Gas wristband, grab the whole bundle, man. If you get the bundle, that means you're an official Gas member. Appreciate everybody for watching, man. And hell of an episode. Hey, next week marks season 2 of Gas Presents Sports for the Culture. So if you stuck with us during season 1, it's much appreciated, man. We made it through a whole year without missing 1 week of episodes. We really, really hope y'all enjoyed it. We coming back even stronger next year.
Yes, sir.
Y'all know how we always close out, man. Sports for the culture.
Sports for the culture.